This book has just fundamentally challenged the assumptions I have about technology. And the uncomfortable truth, at its heart, the author makes some very compelling arguments about technology and our relationship to it that we should all take note of. So let's talk about it. Hi, it's Simon, and as I film this, it represents a bit of an end of the year reckoning. Not just for me, but maybe for all of us. I spend a lot of time on this channel recommending tech, talking about strategies and tools, sharing ideas on how to live our lives better with technology. I build Notion templates and review all this technology because I genuinely believe the right systems free up the time for us all to focus on what matters most. But this book forced me to question that entire premise. Are the systems I build actually freeing us, or just helping us become more efficient servants of the problem we're trying to escape? The book is Against the Machine by Paul Kingsnorth, a former environmental activist who walked away from the movement he helped to build, and is warning about what he calls the machine is both terrifying and necessary. Kingsnorth is arguing that instead of saving us, technology is making us efficient servants of a broken system. So today, let's talk about the crossover between tech, humanity, and the life we're trying to build. Now, before we address how I think we all need to be taking some action from the lessons here, we need to start with an understanding of where Kingsnorth comes from, and what he means by the machine will reveal why his critique hits so hard. Kingsnorth walked away from the environmentalist movement because he felt it had sold its soul to techno-optimism. He calls himself a recovering environmentalist. He argues that instead of saving nature, we just turned it into another resource for what he calls the machine. Now, a lot of people are talking about this book right now, but let's get real for a moment. Tyler Austin Harper, who critiqued this on Cal Newport's recent podcast, brilliant by the way, Deep Questions, said this: Kingsnorth is a provocateur. We don't need to agree with every theology he puts forward or fatalism to see that he's identified a profound crisis of human meaning in this new era of technology and AI. Now, the machine isn't just smartphones. It's the logic of efficiency, optimization and control that's been building since the Industrial Revolution. And today, with the dawn of AI, well, that machine is accelerating, and we aren't just using tools anymore. We are entering the era where algorithmic logic replaces human judgment, moving faster than we can comprehend. Kingsnorth argues that every time we try to solve a problem that the machine creates, we're just building more machine. We think we can engineer our way out of the consequences. And as someone who teaches people to optimize their lives, I felt that. Am I teaching people to be better cogs in this machine? Well, Kingsnorth would say yes. Productivity tools like this are just more efficient ways of making ourselves more efficient servants to the broken system. But while I accept his diagnosis of the trap, I reject his fatalism. I don't think the answer is abandoning technology. It's about how we wield it, and that is the tension we need to explore next. Everything I build has been based on the belief that seems to contradict this argument, that well-designed digital systems can actually give you your life back, that the right tools used intentionally can create space for the things that matter: family, creativity, reflection, presence. That's what I think we should focus on. Now, Kingsnorth would call that naive. He'd say I was, rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, making the machine more comfortable while it devours the world. But this is where I think we can read him productively. We can treat his work as a provocation, a challenge to, as Harper put it, carve out some space for fundamental human modes of living in a world that is otherwise drenched in technology. But here's what I've seen. When you stop letting your inbox run your day, when you capture your tasks in a trusted system so your mind can rest, when you automate the busy work so that you have energy left for creating work, that's not making you more machine-like. That's reclaiming your humanity. I think the question isn't technology or no technology. That ship has sailed, and ironically, it probably sailed on a boat designed using technology. We're not going back to pre-industrial life, and I'm not sure we'd actually want to. What we need to ask is, what is technology actually for? And this is where I think actually Kingsnorth and I might agree more than it seems, because when he talks about the machine, he's really talking about a philosophy that says more is always better, that growth is always good, that efficiency is the highest value. And I reject that philosophy too. My work isn't about helping you do more things. It's about helping you do the right things and then getting out of your own way. It's about building systems so simple and clear that they become invisible, freeing you to actually live. So let's talk about limits for attention and building the life we actually want with technology. One of the most powerful ideas in Kingsnorth's book is the concept of limits. He suggests that many of our modern culture wars, whether about economics, identity, or tech, are actually debates about what does it mean to be a person. The machine's fundamental lie is that there are no limits, that we can always extract more, grow more, optimize more. And this is where I think the productivity world has gotten it catastrophically wrong. We've imported the machine's logic into our personal lives. We track everything, optimize everything, try to squeeze every drop of productivity out of every waking hour. Let me give a real example. Last month, I caught myself checking my phone 25 times before 9 AM. 25 times. I wasn't even looking for anything specific. It was just this compulsive need to optimize every moment, to make sure I wasn't missing something. And then I realized this might not be productivity. This might be anxiety with a fancy app. But what if the goal isn't to do more? What if the goal is to do less, but with intention? What if the goal is to build systems that respect limits, the limits of your attention, your energy, your time on this planet? This is why I've become so interested in minimalism, essentialism, digital decluttering. Not just because I think technology is bad, but because I think unconscious technology used is a form of surrender. When you mindlessly scroll, when you let your notifications run your life, when you say yes to every productive app and hack and system, you're not using technology, technology is using you. The machine doesn't care about your well-being. It doesn't care if you're fulfilled. It only cares that you keep consuming, keep producing, keep turning the gears. So what's the alternative? I think it's this: radical intentionality. It's asking, before you adopt any tool or system, what is it for? Does it serve the life I actually want, or does it serve the machine's version of productivity? This is the question that drives now everything I build. Not how can I be more efficient, but how can technology serve my values, my goals, my definition of a life well lived? Okay, I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers. Kingsnorth's critique is powerful, and it should make us all in the productivity and tech space uncomfortable. If all we're doing is helping people be more effective servants of a broken system, then what's the point? But I also don't think the answer is to abandon technology entirely. I don't think it's realistic, and I don't think it's necessary. I think there's this third way, and it starts with recognizing that technology is never neutral. Every app, every system, every tool embeds a set of values and assumptions. The question is, are those values aligned with the life you want to build? So here's what this looks like, in my opinion, in practice. Number one, set limits. Don't optimize everything, don't track everything. Choose a few essential tools and ignore the rest. The best system is the one you'll actually use, not the most comprehensive one. Number two, build a space that is unoptimized. Schedule time for wandering, boredom, doing nothing. The machine hates this because it's inefficient, but this is where our humanity lives. Number three, question why. Question the why. That has to be the top one. Why are you building this system? Why are you tracking this habit? Why are you using this app? If the answer is because everyone else is and because I should be more productive, that's a red flag. Probably the right answer is because it serves something I care about. And number four, remember that the goal isn't the system. The system is just the scaffolding. The goal is the life you build with the space the system creates. This is what I try to do with all my work, whether it's Notion templates, iPad workflows, or AI assistants. The question is always, how does this give you back your time, and how does this create space for what matters? So, did this book change my view? Absolutely. Do I still believe in my work? Yes, but with more caution. Kingsnorth is right. We can't engineer our way out of limits. But I also believe technology, bounded by intention, can be a tool for reclaiming our humanity. The real question is, do you use technology consciously or do you let it use you? If you want to explore intentional tech use in practice, check out my Agent OS system at bettercreating.com. It's designed around your values, not the machine's logic. And unless you build different habits, nothing changes. So let me know in the comments, what's your one piece of tech you could use more intentionally this week? And for more on this tension, watch this video next for some essentialist principles to get organized without getting overloaded. Thanks for grappling with this. Click my face to subscribe if you haven't. And well, here's to a great year and creating better with humanity intact. See ya.